All of my senses, they allow me to know whatever's going on in my time and space. And it's so surprising when it's all in the right place. And we're finally back together again. Finally back together again.
Welcome to Rams Radio RHS, a place to remind us where we started, how far we've come, and to leave a legacy of good people doing good things.
Finally back together again. Back together again, back together again, back together again. Back together again, back together again.
Welcome to Rams Radio. This is Deb Kelly, and I'm the one that kind of decided maybe we should have a Rams Radio page for all the years of graduates and alumni. And it never, I had no idea it was going to show up the way it did. We have over 2,300 members, and I hope some of you are joining us tonight. We have a delightful group of people that we're going to bring on to share with you, people that were your teachers and your classmates. And as I was creating and working on this, people kept saying to me, you need to talk to Mick Earl. You need to talk to Mick Earl. And I'd say, Mick Earl, okay, like who is he, you know? And so one night I called Mick Earl and I said, hey, I'm doing this Rams Radio, and we just hit it off and had the best time, didn't we, Mick?
Yes,
And
we
so
did.
Mick has come on to be a host with me. And what's really is cool is there's 15 years difference in our graduating age. And so I kind of know the 60s and 70s, and then Mick goes on to the 80s and 90s. And he's been so involved with Rogers High School for the last, I don't know, since you graduated, right? And so he's going to share so many special things for us that, you know, us oldsters didn't know about and that sort of thing. And so Mick, thank you so much for being my partner here. And
Thank you. Thank you
yeah.
for asking me. I'm truly honored.
Oh, I'm thrilled to have you here with you. And Mick, tell everybody where, what year you graduated and a little bit about Rogers for you.
Oh, well, I graduated in 1984 from Rogers High School. A very, I would say Rogers was a great experience for me. Coming, I was one of the kids, I wasn't bused to Rogers, but me and my parents moved out here the summer of my freshman year.
Mhm.
And so I came from the inner city, and I didn't want to go to Rogers. I wanted to follow my siblings. All of my older siblings went to Scott, and my one brother went to Libby, who was a all city and all state basketball player. So I wanted to go to one of those two schools.
Yeah.
And my mom, I didn't like to get up in the morning. And the bus, the yellow bus, like we moved out there probably like April, before the summer, right before the summer hit. And so I'm actually living in the house. We're actually living in the house, and I'm catching the bus my final couple of months to Pickett Junior High School, right? And my mother, I came home one day, and my mother said, that yellow bus stops right in front of our house, and you don't like to get up. So I'm preparing you now. You're going to Rogers. Needless to say, I cried. I cried all summer.
But you fell in love with it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I end up meeting some of the greatest people, and I have lifelong friends that I cherish dearly. And had it not been for me not being able to get up in the morning, I wouldn't have those experiences.
I had the same problem. I was late for biology my sophomore year all the time. I couldn't get up. Poor Mr. Schwinn. I think he was going to kill me. I want to show you something, buddy.
Okay.
Hang on, everybody. We're going to see my screen here. We have this sassy screen of mine, which, check this out. This is Mr. So tell us about your years at Rogers.
Whee! Look at that picture there. 1984 with the love of my life, my mom.
And tell us, how many children did your mother have?
She had 9.
What a lovely woman.
Right,
She should be queen.
Right. She was the queen.
I bet she was.
That was my senior night. I was so, as you can see it, the look on my face.
Yeah.
I was so happy that she was there. My dad was the hardest working man in show business.
I bet.
Well, no, not
kids.
in show business, in the factory business. He worked that night because my dad worked at Ford in Monroe, Michigan. But
Yeah.
my mom came through for me, and
well, you can see you're happy.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So I played basketball all 4 years at Rogers. Me and a very good buddy you have met, Jared Watley. He was on the team with me. That picture actually there is senior night. I mean, senior. That's the senior pep rally.
Wow.
And I can name all those guys standing there as.
All right, do it real quick.
From left to right, that's Kelvin Brown, Earl Colbert, Marvin Lacey, and the guy with the bow tie and jacket on is myself, Albert Earl.
All right.
And the big guy, 6'6" guy standing next to me is Matt Podorowski. And next to him is Johnny Smith. And next to Johnny is Tracy West. And next to Tracy West is our coach, Bill Gladio.
And that was a very successful year, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a good season. We had a better season my junior year, but we had a good season. You know, me and my buddies was actually talking, and the top teams in the area in the state that we lost to, we lost by a combined point total of less than 10 points, except to Scott. We lost bad to Scott because we played them the week after we played St. Francis, and we knew we weren't going to the city, so we kind of like we just was emotionally drained at that point. But
hey, Mick,
all the other teams, it was real good.
Can you picture yourself passing the ball on the court? Can you still get right there in the moment?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I loved our gym. Our gym was awesome. You know what? I wish when they built the new school, I said I would, if they was gonna tear down the old school, they should have left the stadium.
Yeah. Well, so you were in the old gym when you were playing, right? In the old, which was new to us when I was in school. It was the new gym.
That was a beautiful gym. So when did do you know when that gym was built?
Gosh, I don't know. Somebody type in on the chat. I think it was like 67, 68. I don't know.
Wow. So prior to 67, 68, the girls and boys used the old gym.
Yeah, we had the old gym.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So, well, I know we could talk about this, but we've got some guests tonight. So what we're going to do is every once in a while, we'll chat about ourselves and our experiences so people get to know us a little bit better. We're going to shorten up my interview tonight because I got my mouth on on Facebook this week and told my story where I tried to walk across America. You know, I forgot to tell you, my last name, my maiden name is Miles. So I made up little business cards that said, Miles across America, never thinking I would go far, you know.
I'm still amazed at that. I'm still amazed at that story.
Well, I want to show one more photo because Mick is an amazing photographer, and here's something to prove it. Tell us about this, Mick.
That's one of my proudest photographer moments right there. I took that picture at the Rogers girls' first state championship game, and that picture is of Zaya Cook, and she was named All-American, and USA Today newspaper wanted a picture of her, and they called the school and they contacted me and told me they'd give me photo credit. You see that down at the bottom?
I do.
Photo
Albert Mick
by Albert
Earl.
Earl, and that picture was in the USA Today. So I'm really, really proud of that moment. But
I
yes,
too.
I've
I
been
used to
taking some
work for a
pictures.
photographer. That's a
Oh,
big
okay.
deal to have a photo credit like that
Oh
in a
yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
magazine.
And so I've
Yeah.
been doing. I've done photos for Rogers since 2009, and it actually started off as fun because both of my older sons was playing football, and so I
Nice.
was out there filming and taking pictures. And then I said, you know what? Let me just keep doing this, and it turned into me being the school photographer.
I love it. Oh, Mick, you have so many jobs and so many things. When we have time, we're going to get into them because Mick he's such stories and he's got such a heart. I just love talking to him. He's one of my new best friends.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But tonight, I just wanted to get people to get a taste of where you're at and what you've been doing. And one of the things that I know you're very active in, not only being the school photographer, is the Hall of Fame and Ram Jams. And could you tell, because like my age group, the people from the 50s, 60s and so on, we didn't really know about the Rams Jams. Somehow we missed that. And I want you to elaborate on that a little bit, if you will.
Well, to be quite honest with you, some people think that we started the all class reunion based on what Scott has been doing for the last 13 years. But actually, Wait was the first school that actually did an all class reunion. And I'm very close to a lady by the name of Judy Ellis who graduated from Wait, and she was telling me about it. And so it was always in my mind to try to help spearhead something like that. And then I was watching Scott do it, and then finally I put a Facebook request out there for a lot of us to meet and start organizing the Ram Jam. And myself with a lady by the name of Angela Free, Ryan Glaze, who is one of the young men of the Glaze family that went to Rogers. It's 4 amazing young men, and real close with their family, especially their mom, and Lasagna Carnes and a few other people got involved, and we put together an all-class reunion. But the main thing that we all said in the beginning, we did not want to just have a reunion and a party. That if we could bring all those people together, that we wanted to start a scholarship fund for the kids that were still at Rogers.
Awesome.
And so what we did, we each year that we've done it for the last 3 years. This would have been our 4th. We did 3-day weekend. Meet and greet on Friday. We have some type of event on Saturday. You know, one year we had a golf tournament. We had a cabaret dance. We actually did.
Oh, we lost Mick for a second here. Hang on, I'll do a little dance. Da 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 da. Anyways, what Mick is talking about is this amazing event that they have every year for it's called Rams Jam. And it's a 3-day event. And you guys, it's right on the campus of Rogers High School. It is so amazing. And on Sunday, they have a huge big picnic. And for the last few years, they've taken and they've earned enough money with this event that they fund scholarships, and usually over $7,000. Well, of course, this year, because of COVID, we it's been canceled. And so when Mick and I were talking, I said to him, I think that we need to knock on the doors of the members of Rams Radio and say, hey, could you help us? And so what we did, guys, is we put together, That's me. We put together Give Me 5 RHS. And what that is we're asking everybody to give $5. And I'm going to be honest with you, I did a test run on this about a month ago to just see what kind of funding we would get. And I just put it out for like a day or so. And I can't even tell you how generous and wonderful people were. The average, hi, Mick, you're back, darling.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's just the times, it's, you know, where we are. I'm just explaining to him now a little bit about what we're doing with Rams Jam, and we're replacing the money that you're going to miss this year by asking our members to give 5. Give me 5, RHS. Come on. And stop, not have a cup of coffee one day. One day. I don't know, California coffee is like $5. But anyways, what this is we have enough people in our membership here to generate, I think, the money that is missing from the Rams Jams. And for me, I just feel so excited about this because I think it's a great way for all of us to really unite our community even more. And real quick, I want to say the people that I did a test run with about a month and a half ago were so amazingly generous that, and I had asked them, and I sent them a note this week and said, hey, we came up with some money, and that money is like $575. So that was just in one day we earned that. And the average contribution was like $23. And I went, okay, I know this is going to work, GoFundMe and that sort of thing. But we're saving that $575 for giveaways because we're going to be doing some really fun things, and I want to have a little funds there for us to help us with that. But from August 1st onward, any money donated goes into this wonderful Give Me 5 RHS Scholarship Fund. And I was awakened this morning with Toledo Public Schools Foundation, Erica Hollida. And I'm sorry, Erica, if I'm murdering your name. But Erica is the development director for Toledo Public School Systems Foundation. And I asked her, I said, okay, if we're going to put this money in, this has to be strictly for Rogers High School. And so we have all kinds of contracts and information coming together. And by the way, she loved what we're doing and connecting with the alumni. And so I asked her if she wanted to come on and see what we're doing. Everybody's just blown away by this community, and somehow we hit a nerve, everybody. I think we all needed to remember each other and come back. So anyways, you will see probably after the show tonight or tomorrow morning, a GoFundMe. And all I'm asking is put your $5 in there. Or my girlfriend said, hey, I'm putting the amount equal to the year I graduated from school. I said, terrific. $1,969. No, $69. I said, oh, okay, good enough, you know. So whatever you can do, guys, but you know what? If you could just put 5 in, because what it does is it stimulates the energy that we all have and our love for Rogers, and providing amazing scholarships for our students. And we're going to talk more about that. I've invited Erica to come on Rams Radio and talk to us more about this and the students. I want you to meet some of the students there and what they've done. Seriously, Rogers is amazing, guys, and I want you to see that there's so much good in the world, and Rogers really has so much to share with you. Now, I could talk about this forever, but now we need to go and invite our guest on. I told him I'd be there at 9:20 and at 6:20 here. Mick, is there anything you'd like to say before I leave on this?
Oh, no. We can get to the guests. I can follow up on some of the things about Ram Jam afterwards.
Okay, good enough. And we want to talk about the Hall of Fame one of these times too. So, okay, we're going in to get our 2 guests. We have Bill Brewer, come on in, Bill, and Debbie Laberdee-Mills. And they're going to join us. Hi, Bill. Can you hear me, Bill?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, hi, Debbie.
Hello, Mr. Brewer.
Hello.
I'll introduce everybody. One thing I want to do is there's an empty box up there and everybody's probably going, what is that? Jared Wadley is, he's monitoring the chat room. And so I hope that you guys put some questions up here for Bill and Debbie, and they're going to tell us their experiences at Rogers High School. So Mick, Earl, this is Bill Brewer, who went to school at Rogers and graduated in 1971. As a lovely human being. I interviewed him about a month ago and forgot to record it. So we've had a long conversation together. And Debbie, what a pleasure to meet you. We've chatted back and forth on the internet and so forth, and I'm just so excited to hear what you are doing and your experiences at Rogers, and totally blown away by, you know, what you do. So, and Mick and Deb are really good friends. So Mick is probably going to interview Deb and I'm going to interview Bill, and let's get started. So Bill, I'm going to start with you. And I was reviewing your resume again, and wow, what a life you've had, buddy.
Well, it's not over yet.
I know, bud. I was totally
Please
impressed.
don't write my obituary. I think I'm healthy.
I was totally impressed the last time I talked to him. He goes, "Oh, hang on a minute. He's helping 70-year-old seniors to get their banking or their deposits on the internet." And I thought, oh my God, he's such a giving guy. That's a frustrating, difficult thing to do, Bill, is teach people how to internet, you know, in their 70s. Believe me, I know that one. So one of the reasons I asked Bill to be one of our first guests here is because he really is a Rogers High School family. Bill's mother was a teacher. Did you bring a little picture?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you were grabbing a
somebody else
picture. Yeah, I sent you a note, said, hey, I can't find a picture of her. I did find a picture of your dad, though. And
I know there's some in the yearbook, obviously, of my mom.
Yeah. So
And
tell us,
I got
Bill.
that note, I thought I have them somewhere, but
I know it. Tell us, Bill, a little bit about who your mom is first, and then we'll get talking about you too.
well, my mom.
Yeah.
She taught at McTighe probably for a couple of years. Taught maybe 7th or 8th grade math before she went to Rogers, and taught advanced algebra and 5th year math, calculus, 4th year math. Did that probably for 25, 30 years until the 90s. I had her for AP math, my senior year.
So did somebody else on here, didn't you, Deb?
Yeah, I had her for honors pre-calc and trig my senior year. Yep.
Yeah. So luckily, my mom was fun and was a good teacher. And I actually really loved math, and I clept through calculus in college. And for a while, I thought I wanted to be a math minor or major. I didn't know what I wanted, but I took a math class in college and hated it because it wasn't anything like calculus in high school. And I had clept through it. I was like, no, this is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So she was, she had, I don't know if she must have had my sister too. My sister was a year behind me. So I think, and I'm sure Jenny took 5th year math.
Yeah.
That's what they called them because we took algebra in like 8th grade, I think.
Yeah.
That was the start of all that accelerated stuff that they did.
Exactly. And then you have a brother too, don't you?
I had a brother. He passed away 2 years ago. And
Oh, okay.
Tim,
I'm sorry.
5 years younger than me.
Okay. So did he graduate from Rogers too?
He graduated from Rogers as well, yes.
Oh, okay. And what year?
Well, it would have been
76.
76 or 77.
Okay. Yeah.
It would have been 76 because I was a senior at Otterbein in 75.
Yeah.
And I think he was a junior in high school, so 76.
Okay.
So I have a quick question. What did your mom take it easy on you, or she took it, or did she treat you like the other students?
She treated me like the other students, and luckily, in calculus, there were maybe 12 of us, 13 of us in the class. It was a smaller class. And so most of these guys, and they were mostly men except for Diane Wilhelm, Diane Classen.
Oh, Diane Wilhelm.
Diane Wilhelm, who I had a picture of Diane and I. Diane was in Guys and Dolls with Chuck Winger and myself. And Diane and I did a duo piano thing for like the senior talent show. And Diane, we built the floats in her parents' barn there on Reynolds Road because her dad was State Farm Insurance.
Well, and interesting enough, Mick's business that he has, the building blocks, is on that corner where isn't that where Diane used to live? On the corner of Hill and
Hill and Reynolds.
Yeah, her dad
No,
had that.
Diane lived on the corner of, Hill and
Hill
Reynolds.
and Reynolds. Yeah, and her
Not
dad
right on
had
the
that
corner,
insurance
but like
company.
there was a big, they had a 2-story house in the barn in the back.
Yeah.
And Diane was my insurance agent. She went to Indiana University in piano performance, got a master's in piano performance. She was a really good musician. And her and her sister, her one sister, I think, is a state Supreme Court judge in Ohio.
Wow.
Wow. So. And the other, and they had a band called the Bonaventures.
Ah.
Diane, and sadly, Diane passed away maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh no. Sorry.
Yeah, very sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her mother passed away early too. Her mother was young when she passed away.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, her mom was very young, and her dad is still alive and living in Toledo, because they would eat my dad and my mom and dad and everybody at Rudy's Hot Dogs on Glendale and Heather Downs.
Yeah.
The Rudy's Hot Dogs for breakfast.
Look
Rudy's
what I have, Bill.
I
have a picture to share with you.
You're cutting out.
I'm cutting out. That's not good. Okay. There. Do you see your dad?
There's Dad. That is my dad.
Yeah.
And that's so some of these people, I do remember their names. I remember Bernard Hardy. My dad was president of the school board maybe the next year at one point. And Beatty's, his son Scott and Ann Beatty.
Yeah, I went to school with them. Yeah.
Scott was a year older than me. Ann was.
You're younger than me.
Yeah, and they lived, I remember where they lived, and Mrs. Folger, who taught English at McTighe, lived down the street from them, and they had a pool in their house, and we would go, and I remember swimming in their pool.
Yeah, like, Jody, wasn't it? Jody Folger? Her son, Jody?
Joe Folger was her name.
Yeah, yeah.
Folger, really good English teacher.
Yes,
really
I remember.
We had really great English teachers at Rogers when I was there. I mean, Kay Ladd, Miss Kimmerlin, Miss Robinson, Dorothy Bonash. I was well prepared for English in college.
Yeah.
Hey,
got advanced placement in college.
I want you to know they got a pretty good English teacher there now.
Oh, well, I'm sure. But who's the English teacher?
Debbie.
Which one?
Debbie.
You are. Well, good. No, it really was. It was a great, and I taught high school English for a while, right out of an undergraduate school, and I taught American literature, and I was so influenced by Mrs. Robinson and Mrs. Ladd, because they team taught American literature our junior year. And I still remember that class. It was the first time they had team taught stuff. So we had a class of 60, and it was all college prep. It was really good, really great.
When we were seniors, we had Miss Sparks, I think. Miss Sparks and Mrs. Bonash.
Joe Sparks.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Joe Sparks. And then Mrs. Schultz taught Latin. I did Latin with the former Marine.
So real quick, for those who didn't know this, because we weren't always in the Toledo public school systems. And so your father was the president of Adams Township, which was the foundation of Rogers being built. And I just want you to share, when we were in Adams Township, it was amazing the education that we received. And I think we had, didn't we have the observatory and the, so many.
I don't know if that might have came later.
Did it?
it was very contentious when Adams Township
Mhm.
went to Toledo. There
Yeah.
were, you know, was
Yeah,
yeah,
it was. It was a
had,
big deal,
you know,
and
we still
particularly
have
because
it
of
now, local
sports,
controlled
Mick.
schools, and it was a big deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And so, but Toledo, you know, it was going to be inevitable because Toledo was growing south and
yeah,
everything else, and it became financially, I think, I don't remember, I was very young. I was in
yeah.
5th grade, 6th grade, but I do remember my dad getting threats and stuff. My dad was worried. I mean, it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
you wouldn't think of it back in what, this was like 60, 61,
Yeah.
that people were that, yeah, very vocal about,
Yeah.
and you know, they didn't have much of a choice really at that point.
Yeah.
It was with that
It was a
again,
big deal.
you just can't afford it. So
Well,
um
I could talk to you for a long time, Bill, but I'm going to bring Deb in because I want, and then we'll have a conversation together, all of us. And while I'm on this page, here's Miss Debbie. This is you, Debbie. You were a cheerleader at Rogers. What year did you graduate?
83.
83.
oh
And then,
baby.
oh, she's a baby. That's right. And
And then
is this your senior picture, Deb?
That's my senior picture.
I love it. And then this is you and one of your daughters, right?
My youngest daughter. Mhm.
And I understand one of your daughter teaches with at Rogers too, doesn't she?
Right. My oldest daughter teaches, she's an inclusion teacher, special ed inclusion teacher, and this will be her 7th year teaching at Rogers, right out of the university. That she was given a choice for a couple of different schools, and she of course chose Rogers to come to. And actually, at that, the picture was taken at her wedding, and she married a Rogers graduate.
Oh my gosh. How amazing. How
One of my
amazing. You know, Deb, before we get started, I just want to say one thing. We have Jared. Everybody can probably see Jared over in the corner. Jared is like another one of my new best friends, nicest guy in the world. And he's hanging out, waiting for you all to get on this chat. And I don't see anybody over here on the chat. And what I'd love is for you people that are listening is to join in and ask us some questions. Otherwise, Jared's going to make up questions and make them really hard for us. And so what we want to do is, oh, Bill, good. And so we would just want Jared. Are you okay, Jared? Can you say hello for a second?
Hello to the Rams Nation. And I do have one question that came from Facebook, but it was actually for you, Deb. But I'll save it for a little bit later on.
Save it for later. We're looking for
Yes.
ones for Debbie Mills, who is currently at Rogers, and I'm sure our listeners are dying to hear what's going on at Rogers now. And of course, Bill, we'll get back to you again. We're going to get a little bit of Debbie here, okay? So go ahead, Debbie. One of the things I want to know is what's an inclusion class? Is that disabled people or?
It's in-class support for students who are on individualized education plans.
Okay.
So basically, a special ed teacher, but she's assigned to a core area. She actually works in the science classes, and then she also has her own support class. So she kind of, it's kind of fun because we have some of the same students. I teach, right now I teach in what we call our freshman cluster. And I also teach an AP language and composition. So she teaches in the science freshman course. So for a while, till she got married, it was Big Mills and Little Mills. And then now she's just Bishop and I'm just Mills. But we also coach cheerleading together. And we also split the position of assistant athletic director.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
We're also the building leadership team and wear numerous other hats, whatever hat they ask us to put on.
What's a leadership team?
We have 2 different entities within the building. One, of course, is the union building committee to make sure that union agreements are all upheld. The other is the building leadership team. Largely, a lot of the same people are on both, but basically the leadership team is kind of the, I don't want to say, we make a lot of the plans and we do a lot of the preparation for the instruction and some of the different programs that we have at Rogers High School now. Because things are different. Not only do we have a new building, there's a lot of different things that people probably aren't aware of. So
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping since we have your attention on this Rams radio that once in a while you'll fill us in what's going on and give us some ideas and let us know. I know there's a lot of people that have asked if they could have either a virtual tour or when everything is up and running again, we maybe at Ramsdam next year, we could all go in and see the school because you sent us, thank you so much. You sent us that drone of the campus.
yeah.
I was totally blown away. I mean, it just looks so beautiful in the school and everything.
That was done
Thanks
by
so
one of
much.
our teachers. So, but my son-in-law has also done some drone stuff. So once we can get back into the building, I don't know if it, for those of you in the Toledo area probably know that initially we were going to go back as a hybrid program where we would be on a scattered schedule. But now students will all be remote, but teachers will be in the building. So I will be able to get into the building pretty soon. I think after like August 12th, and teachers actually start 19th. So I do plan on trying to just do some virtual stuff to kind of walk through. I'm hoping that once students do come back, that I can actually have students do some of the interviews of there's several teachers who are graduates of Rogers. Several alumni teach there, are involved there. And I think it'd be really cool to include the students, current students, some of the information about what's going on in their building as the eventual alumni themselves.
Yes, let's do that. Let's get them in there. I think that'd be great. I also wanted to thank you for sending us that picture of Coach Vitale and that plaque that they made for him and everything. That was one of the most popular posts we had. People just so love Vitale, and so thanks for doing that too, Deb.
Yeah, everybody loves to be. Absolutely. And there's another picture I wanted to get, but last time I was in for a practice, we can't even go into the building right now. But we do have like the groundbreaking shovel and the picture of Robert S. Rogers that hung in the old building that's now in a showcase in the new building. So I want to make sure to get pictures and post those as well.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Mick, you know Debbie better than any of us, so let's hear what you have to say. Can you hear us, Mick?
Well, a couple of things. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. A couple of things. I was going to ask her. She already answered the questions in regards to how the school year is going to go. But how about you tell us a little bit about when you started working at Rogers? Because at first you was over at Scott High School, right?
Yes.
And what year did you move over to Rogers?
I have been at Rogers for 20 years now. I came over in 2000. I left Scott. At the time, there had been so much going on. In the early 90s, they closed Maycomber, as well as Maycomber Whitney, as well as DeVilbiss, which moved a lot of teachers around. And so everybody was anybody who had a job was kind of excited to have a job, in the high school level when everything started closing. Very strong English teachers all went to Rogers. It was kind of funny that Bill had said that because even when I went there, it was extremely strong teachers. And then it seemed like the best of Maycomber, Whitney, and DeVilbiss also went to Rogers. So I put in with a transfer after a program that I was teaching in at Scott called the Project Shape. When they discontinued that in the district, I put in, because I felt like I still had a lot more to learn, and I wanted to learn from these people in this really strong department. So I transferred in 2000 and have been there ever since, and will be there till I retire.
All right.
Right. And so there's a couple of things that me and you kind of work together with.
A lot.
Yeah.
During basketball, I see you more than I see my own children.
Yeah, you know me in basketball, but we actually both serve on the Hall of Fame committee. And I will say this, since we've been on the Hall of Fame committee, we've gotten so many people that should have been in the Hall of Fame years ago
Mhm.
years ago. The fact that we just, 2 years ago, got that 68 state runner-up baseball team in the Hall of Fame tells you a lot about tells you a lot about how we been slow in that process, but we're doing great, and we need to raise more money for that as well, Deb, because
Right.
if when we do, I think we'll be able to put more people in than what we currently are putting in, because now we're coming up on a huge class that some of these kids deserve to go in with,
Wow.
like they say with the pros, first
Yeah.
ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
So we're coming up on the Eric Kennards, the
right.
Damon Powells, all of those 2-boy teams that went to the state championship, all those girls that went to the state championship. And
Yeah.
the girls basketball got 12 Division I players in
Mhm.
college. So
Unbelievable.
Mhm.
I just want to say, I've never gone to the Hall of Fame event, but I think it was Coach Wagner's wife, Susan Vorderberg Wagner, was saying that I think that you guys put her coach in, and what a lovely event it was. And I talked to another coach, and they just said, you guys go all out with the dinner and the plaques, and and everybody shows up. It's something. It's like Rams radio. Everybody wants to know a little bit about the past, and that.
Well, it kind of went defunct. It went kind of, the Hall of Fame committee kind of went defunct, like in maybe around 2006-ish. So really, since Mick and I have joined, it's kind of been a rebuilding program. When Harold Howell became the athletic director, we all kind of powwowed together and recruited some other people, Jeff Sod and Angie Freeman, and Jared is now involved as well. So we had to powwow with some other people to try to get more people involved. So
Yeah.
So we're building a program as well.
Well, and I love that. And one of the things I want to go back to Bill about, because Bill was active in the theater part of the school, and I'm like about looking at everybody and all of that sort of thing. And I always think, what can we do for those artists? Because we have an enormous amount of successful writers and theater people and people that have been, in TVs and movies, and, whether they're writers or in the background and all that. And how fun. Bill, I think you should start a Hall of Fame for the artists and the writers. I think it's something we should consider down the road, because it is a part of all that. And you're going to hear me push that all the time, guys. I love the athletes, but I think I want to see a broad picture of all of that too. So, you can kick me.
hey,
We have added with the boosters. We don't have just an athletic boosters. Our boosters are activities boosters.
Oh, see, that's great to hear.
So the band works concession stands, and so the boosters kind of help all of us across the board. They've given money for different musicals, and we have right now we're kind of rebuilding our program. We lost a really strong drama teacher several years ago who did a lot of plays and musicals through retirement. And so we're kind of in the process of rebuilding. There's a very young teacher who's really excited.
Awesome.
She'll be plays this year. So trying to get the program back on track.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, good. Well, back to the Hall of Fame real quick. I talked to your assistant or your athletic director too, and he was talking about the new field house and the mural that you guys are going to put in. And I just, Rogers has such a beautiful face to it. I mean, what you guys are imagining and what you're producing, and it's really exciting.
There's a lot of things that are really interesting that people are unaware of at Rogers right now. When people look at the building itself, when we moved into the new building, we were the first of all the high schools in the rebuilding process. So, you know, ours might be a little bit, look a little bit drier than some of the other ones when you actually look, you know, in terms of the layout and everything. But when we first were planning for the new Rogers, we had just been awarded a huge foundation grant, Knowledge Works Foundation grant from Bill and Melinda Gates. However, we ended up turning it down because originally we were talking about going into like a small school within schools. So it'd be like 4 small schools under the whole roof of Rogers. And then, so it kind of looks like it's built like in wings for that purpose. But then a lot of people don't know that we are a community hub school now. And I'm not sure if people know what that's about at all, but we selected University Church, and they're kind of our community peer group. And they help provide services that the Rogers community, not just Rogers High School, but the Rogers community has voiced that we need. At Rogers High School, we actually have a health clinic in our building.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we have who
Wonderful.
has a mental health counselor available, as well as I forgot what they're called, but she's a nurse who can write prescriptions.
Yeah.
Nurses.
Oh, yes.
Nurse
practitioner.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so, like, if I have a student who's complaining of a sore throat, I can, rather than a parent having to take a day off, try to get them into the doctors, I can send my student down, and they can actually get a strep test. And if they
Wow.
need to, that prescription can get called in, and the parents can pick it up on the way home. It's a way to try to improve the whole, you know, kids' attendance.
Yes.
To assist the parents, you know, because a lot of times it's a huge issue. So we're one of 2 schools right now who have actually a clinic kind of situation, but it was all part of being a hub school. And
Yeah.
we actually have a hub director who's housed at Rogers, and the whole goal is, you know, for her to provide things. We have laundry facilities for kids. We have a pantry, personal hygiene pantry that kids can use. They've also put together like a clothes closet for interviews and things. So there's a lot of things that are going on at Rogers that are really positive for our kids.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
Deb, why don't you share with them about our program?
Or what part? What one?
Our construction program.
We actually, one of with the career technology being such a big push, you know, we're not just supposed to be preparing kids for necessarily college, but we need to look at careers. And we have a 4-year construction academy at our school where students begin their freshman year and end their senior year with hopefully doing internships and actually getting on, you know, hands-on types of experiences. They learn everything from just general construction to electrical to, well, they just started welding as well. And it's all of the entire construction trade. We have several different programs. We also have a business accounting program. That's a 4-year program. We also have visual communication design. That's also kind of like the old skill centers that we had.
Yeah.
But they, you know, the schools kind of moved away from all the skill centers in the, I would say, the early 90s, largely because of all the state testing that we had to do. A lot of kids weren't eligible for the block classes because they were taking these remedial courses because they didn't score. So it kind of threw us for a loop. But now there's a lot of choices for the kids in Toledo Public as well. So, but our construction academy is one of the only 4-year full construction academies.
And one thing I like to share with you, Deb and Bill, if you haven't been to the school, on that construction wing, they actually have houses, like small houses inside those wings where they actually build them, tear them down. They do roofing, plumbing, siding, electrical, everything. It's amazing the work that these young men and young women learn during their 4 years at school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's so relevant. I mean, you know, I think that's so important. My family's in the paint contracting business, and we just know how important that is in those services. And in fact, we've been throwing away around an idea of creating a painting university to teach kids and to create their own businesses and that sort of thing. So I'm all for that. And I think we should have had that long ago, you know. And so that's I had no idea these things were going on in Rogers, and I think that's so exciting to hear that we are really moving forward with these types of things. It's so important, and I have to tell you, my grandkids go to schools here in California, and I haven't heard of these things, guys. I think Ohio. I'll tell you, I still think Ohio's reading skills are the best. Those Ohio kids, my Ohio grandkids can read like nobody's business. So I'm excited to hear about that. Hey, I just want to check in with Jared. I don't see any questions, Jared, but did you get it? Did you have any?
No, but I did have a question for Bill, because one of the things I wanted to ask him involved his extracurricular activities. And I didn't know if you had a favorite memory involving the theater. I don't know if you could just share with us some of the productions you were involved with, and then what you did with your experience in theater after you graduated from Rogers.
You know, we didn't really have a theater program. I mean, sorry, Mr. Wydell, but most schools didn't then. And we had a good speech and debate, better speech and debate program than we had a theater program. And that's not unusual because theater programs weren't hugely supported in any place in certain schools. So, but we did good shows, you know, and they brought in a professional choreographer. So Andrea Brady, lots of people were in shows. So I was in shows, Music Man, Guys and Dolls, and Oklahoma were the three musicals. And we did Little Murders, which was way ahead of its time. And actually the administration canceled the show. They thought it was too out there, I still couldn't believe this. I remember going in and arguing with them, what do you mean? They censored the show. We couldn't do that show. It was really, you know, it was like, and this was like the late 60s. You know, this is right before Kent State. This is Vietnam. That was a whole very different era then.
Yeah.
I did go on and theater. I was a theater and English major at Otterbein, which was a really good theater school. I got a theater scholarship. And then I acted for a little while, and I taught high school theater and English for about 3 years before I went on and got an advanced degree in theater and postgraduate in theater, and left teaching and went into business and industry. So my joke is always when I'm working with clients or in companies, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm acting like I do, and it seems to get me by. So I think we're all acting in some way, shape, or form.
But Bill, don't you have
great.
I'm sorry, don't you have a program right now that you have a theater that you're working? I thought you had. Yeah.
Well, I had started, when I taught at Miami University for 20 years as chair of their public relations curriculum major. And also started a semi-professional theater in Oxford called the Caroline Scott Players. But since I've moved and retired, I'm in a new area down in Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, Florida. And I did a couple of shows at the Delray Beach Playhouse, and I'm currently on hiatus from playing Daddy Warbucks and Annie for the Lakewood Playhouse. And in fact, we just had a Zoom rehearsal because they think they're going to record it in August to live stream and then do it in December. But with this crazy pandemic, nobody knows. Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, the theater was helpful, you know, and we kudos to Rogers for at least having a drama teacher.
Yeah, that's
really
true.
And we did 2 plays a year. Big. I mean, the musicals are big. The first play I think I ever saw was Funny Girl at Rogers with Sid Sutkus. Was playing.
I was in that. Yeah.
And speaking of, Bonnie Huff was in that, who became Bonnie Turner, and her sister Elaine is still around. And Bonnie was the producer for Third Rock from the Sun, and they all went to Kent State. Bonnie, Bill Tackus, Dick Armstrong, I think Debbie Thomas. They all
Debbie went to
Penn
Hiram.
State.
Yeah,
To Hiram,
yeah.
which
Debbie
was
went to
another good,
Hiram.
lots of
Yeah.
good schools in Ohio. Lots of good
There are. There's
schools.
California people that go to Ohio. I love it to go to school.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, we're getting close to the close. I can't believe it's over. I've been anticipating this, and you all did so well for our first show. I had no clue what I was doing, you guys, but I just,
You
I,
did fine.
You did a great job. You did a great job.
well, you're wonderful, and I just feel like we opened a can of worms here. I think people will want to come on and tell their stories, and I'd love to have both of you come back and tell us more. We didn't even get into Bill's PR work, and we had a wonderful conversation about that industry and how it works in our world and how it influences our world. And so we'll have you back again too, Bill. And Debbie, we might have to have you every 6 weeks so you can tell us what's going on in the schools. And before we leave, if everybody just give us a little, Bill, Mick, before I say anything, do you have anything else you want to say? I was just going to ask everybody to kind of give their feelings about Ram Radio and not Ram Radio, but Rogers High School.
Well, I think when you get to retirement age, as like that we are,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice to be able to, whatever happened to this person, or, so some of these people from high school that I left Toledo when I graduated. I never really went back, but I had fond memories of lots of people that I went to Rogers High School with. So it's kind of neat to see where they are, how they're doing. And, luckily everybody's kind of doing well, and that's really nice. So that's been wonderful. And it's good to hear that Rogers is doing well now, and that they have a great athletic program and a great English department, and so that's good. So thanks you,
Bill. Thanks, Bill. Deb?
Mick will tell you, I am so embedded in the Rogers community. I live in the Rogers community. All of my time is spent in the Rogers community. The kids ask if I just sleep at Rogers. I tell them, yeah, those futons in the corner of my room, the discussion corner. Yeah, I might, there's probably times I've, thought about laying down there, but I truly love it. And a lot of times I'm disheartened a little bit because I hear people say, oh, Rogers isn't the same. No, it's not the same, but there's still a feeling about it. And the kids who go there are wonderful individuals. And I am so lucky every single day to be able to do what I do and to have the connections with them that I do, because they just are phenomenal people. So I hope that many of you get to meet, even if it's just through me, introducing some of the kids, hoping to, kind of just share my experience with them.
Oh, let's do that. Let's get a meeting where we can get that. How about you, Mick?
Well, hey, you already know, Deb, how I feel about this. This is an amazing opportunity and a great tool to be able to connect all of the classes together, which was one of my dreams, to be able to connect all of the classes together. Because when we started the Ram Jam, I'm gonna be very frank here. Debbie was at the Ram Jams, but it was mostly all the African American people that went to Rogers that we knew. So to be able to connect and possibly have a celebration where I know that if everyone come out, the Rogers community come out, we're going to stretch from that new ground all the way to the old ground, and I think it'll be absolutely fabulous. And there's a lot of people that we had good relationships with that we would love to see and be able to just see how they doing, how their family doing, and it'll just be a great experience. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that's just one of the things that this tool is able to do. But moving forward with this, I'm just glad that we got the opportunities that we do to be able to keep up with one another.
Yeah, and listen to the music.
I appreciate you making it happen, Deb.
Oh, hey, it was COVID. What else was there to do? Let's get all our friends together. I wanted to ask Jared. Jared, can you take your thing down and show us your adorable face, Mr. Jared Wadley?
It feels like this feels like a production of The Wizard of Oz, where Toto peels back the wizard. You all you hear is just his voice, and now we just have to peel the screen back. So
there you are. Hello, darling. Oh, I just love this man. He was so kind. I'd asked him a couple of months ago. I said, hey, I'm looking for people that were on the bag, or not the bagpiper. That was McTighe. What was, the Rampage, and he said, oh, what kind of stories you looking for? Anyways, we were texting like at 10 o'clock at night, and I just thought, oh, I don't know who this guy is, but I really like him. We having some heart to heart, and he's just become another wonderful friend. And that's what's so great about this program, is not only connecting with a lot of my old friends, but meeting all of these younger people and getting to, see what our lives, we really, and I think Bill Brewer said this when we talked last time, we really had a foundation. Our education was really a great foundation for all of us. And Jared are you the president or vice president of communication at the U of M?
Well, I don't know if my boss would appreciate that title. No, I work in, I'm considered a senior public relations specialist. And so I've been working at the University of Michigan since 2002. I used to live in California. So one of the blessings you could say by coming back to the Midwest and coming back to this area is going to reconnect with a lot of my Rogers friends, such as Deb and Mick. And now we have you as a new friend, and now I've met Bill. So it's been great to come back, and just really a blessing to be part of this this team to help you out for this first episode. So I appreciate what you've done. It's just really taken off. I'm just amazed like how quickly it's sprung up from a Facebook page, and now you're already doing video interviews. And it's really taken off. I admit, I'm impressed. Someone in public relations, as Bill probably can attest to, I'm just really impressed by what you've done thus far to pull it all together in a short amount of time. So just want to thank you as well.
Thanks, Jared. It's an act of love. I said this, and I'll say it real quickly because we're almost over time, but I went to my 50th class reunion, and I felt like I was 18. I know I did the crazy and outrageous things when I was there. I just went right down to when I was 18, But I had the best time, and it wasn't long enough. There wasn't enough time to see everybody and talk to everybody. So putting this together has, I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Putting this together has given me an opportunity to have that time with the people. And I think it's really important to make these connections. I have learned so much, and Michael Green has a Toledo history page that I want to get on. I want to have Michael come on. There's people that are doing music, and they do amazing things. And I want to give an applause to Susan May, who's put this amazing history of music together. I don't know if you guys have gone on and looked at it. Every class she puts on a history of their year and their music. We got Randy Gaster. He's doing Game Master. He's the Game Master. It's just like blossomed, you guys. And it's just a beginning of what the potential that we have. And so with closing, I just want to say, give me 5 RHS, and just give us that money so that we can say, let's unite together with this energy. Money is energy. Let's unite. Give me 5 or whatever you want to do. And let's show Rogers, hey, thanks for great education. Thanks for great friendships. I would not be who I am if I wouldn't have walked through the halls of Rogers High School. Here is my husband. I'm leaving with my husband. He died 10 years ago. He's 2 feet under. He's in this box. I had to leave with a joke. He's also that picture back there. But that's where I met him. He was my wonderful, wonderful man that I married and had 4 fantastic children and 8 grandchildren. So look what Rogers did for me. And so we all have something grateful, something to be thankful for. So thanks, Rogers. Thanks, Rams. Thanks, Bill, Debbie, Mick, Jared. Love you all.
All of my senses, they allow me to to know whatever's going on in my time and space. And it's so surprising when it's all in the right place. And we finally back together again. Finally back together again.
Welcome to Rams Radio RHS, a place to remind us where we started, how far we've come, and to leave a legacy of good people doing good things.